Hey guys, this is Grant Sasser, 45/7 Productions. This is the second episode, actually the third episode of the recruiting board. I'm joined here by running back Jasper Shaw from Archbishop Shaw High School. And he's actually, he went from kind of being a relative unknown to being one of the hottest prospects right now in the class of 2025. Jasper, welcome to the show, my man. How you been doing?
It's been great. Everything's great with me. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, no problem, man. So you've had a busy January, I guess you could say that. You picked up your first offer in November, I believe it was by Florida State, and then a couple others offered you. But then this whole month, it seems like every other day you just been getting some crazy offer for, let's say it's from Penn State or Oklahoma State, just another Power Five school. So, how shocked were you? Shocked by the amount of offers you gotten this month?
Yeah, It's been big for me. Just seeing it happen so fast in front of my eyes has been a shocker. I mean, it's been great experience, and I'm just grateful for the opportunities. But I have to say, like, as well as it's being shocking, it's been relieving knowing that all my hard work has been paying off, and people finally recognize me for the athlete that I am.
Yeah, man. So like, was it kind of like were you talking to schools for a long period of time, and then they offered you, or was this kind of, or some of them actually just came out of nowhere? You didn't really expect them to offer you.
I developed strong relationships before a lot of my offers. So like, coaches would get in touch, see what type of person I am off the field, just talk to me like about like how I attack the game of football and like the way I attack the way of life besides football. And a lot of them came out of nowhere, like Penn State just kind of came out of nowhere with that offer. I mean, it was big. It kind of just hit me. I was like, wow, Penn State, Saquon Barkley College. It was big. So just getting a few of those offers out of nowhere, it just showed me that I have a lot of eyes on me all across the country, and I was grateful for them.
And how have you adjusted from kind of being this running back who was, I mean, I mean, you're always a great back, like there's no doubt about it. But a lot of people outside the New Orleans area didn't really know who you were. But you went from kind of being a relative unknown to being a one of the top prospects, not only out of the state but around the country. So how have you adjusted to that?
It's just been just me and my parents and my close coaches, and a lot of people just talking to me about, like, they said they knew it was going to come, they just didn't know when it was going to come, and to never take an opportunity for granted. So just coming out of last year, like you said, man, just being one of the low guys, like, yeah, we got him, but he has size, man, he has speed, but we don't know what he'll pan out to be. I just like kind of took it all, soaked it in, and said, man, I got to really do a lot of things this offseason, this season, just performing. I just know, like, I had to make a change in my game, and I was grateful to do it. So just getting the recognition now, I've adjusted pretty well. I would think I accepted it. A lot of people have been helping me with just like staying grounded and like absorbing it.
Yeah, and what have you made any visits so far?
Yeah, I've only been to one visit so far this offseason. It's been to Tulane in my hometown, 504. I haven't been to any other visits, but I do plan on going to a lot of places during this spring, seeing which place I might call my home.
Yeah, guys, if I haven't mentioned this before, make sure to follow 45/7 Productions on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then also make sure to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And the more support, the more interviews I can do with people like Jasper. But yeah, moving on. Because I'm gonna mention this real quick. You've gotten offers from Alabama, Arkansas, Duke, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Houston, Oklahoma State, Ole Miss, Oregon, Penn State, SMU, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, and USC. Which of these teams have really intrigued you the most these past few weeks? Because it
I have
just
to
seems
say,
it all came out of nowhere.
yeah, all of the coaching staffs have been tremendously like intrigued with me. I mean, all of them made efforts to get close with me, but the coaching staff I'm fitting with best right now has to be USC. I mean, Coach McDonald, Kyle. I mean, he's just been great. He texts me a lot. We built a relationship deeper than football, just talking about things outside of the game, talking about mentality, how great you can be. As well as colleges like Oregon, Coach Lott just reaching out to me every day, and Coach Simon from Duke. He's been reaching out to me a lot. I mean, I know those guys, they look deeper than the game of football. They want to see what type of young man you are. And I've just been grateful, along with schools like Oklahoma State reaching out to me a lot for like visits as the beginning of March, April. So I've just been grateful for all those coaches just looking at me and trying to build a relationship with me outside of football.
Yeah, man, and honestly, like one of the offers that really, like, I think really caught everybody's eye on you was your offer from Alabama. Talk a little about that, how that came coming to fruition, and what was your reaction to getting that offer from probably really just, I mean, they're the greatest college football program of all time. I mean, there's no doubt about that. The most national championships they've had. I believe what four Heisman Trophy winners now. Just talk about everything going on with your relationship with Alabama.
When you talk about Alabama, man, accolades, you could talk about them all day. I mean, Alabama is the mecca. I mean, I would say growing up for me has been a mecca of college football. I mean, whenever you talk about a championship, you can say who's going with Bama, but over these past few years, it's been a little bit different with other teams coming up. But now, just getting the offer from Alabama, it just means so much to me. I mean, just looking at guys go there, you see like it's the best peak athletes, and I was like, man, one day maybe that's gonna be me. And just seeing it happen, just talking to Coach G and getting the insight from him, just telling me like, man, the things I got to work on, the things he could picture me doing, and how big he see me getting. It just means a lot coming from a school as prestigious as Alabama, athletically wise, as far as educational wise, and just seeing that coaching staff like putting their trust in order to give me an offer. It means I've been doing a great deal, and it means so much.
Yeah, man. And speaking of all these offers, I know there's got to be a lot of schools also that are very interested in you but haven't offered you yet. What are some schools you've been in contact with the most that haven't offered you yet?
Um, pretty much all the coaches I've talked to, they came and saw me, so they've offered me. But one school is LSU, actually, my home state. They
Mhm.
haven't offered me yet, but I actually talked to Coach Frank, the running back coach over there. He was talking about like getting me up there soon and just building a relationship, and I'm so appreciative of it. Actually, he grew up in the same area of town where I'm from, actually in Louisiana. So it just means a lot getting insight and talking to him, and maybe getting that offer one day from LSU.
And what part of New Orleans are you from? Just want to ask.
I'm from Gretna, Louisiana.
Okay, West Bay. Okay, gotcha. So speaking going off of Frank, he's one of the arguably one of the greatest recruiters of all time. He's built some great recruiting classes up at LSU, not only just as of late, but during his first stint at LSU. So, can you mention like a little bit more detail of your relationship with Frank and what was your reaction when you got that call from him?
I mean, Coach Frank, as you said, recruiting wise, he's one of the best to ever do it. I mean, just looking at his track record and the guys he's produced, man, the guys that have come through in recent years and left, and the guys that he's getting there right now, actually, it's been spectacular on his end. So just getting that phone call from him, man, it means a lot. It means that I can put myself up there with those athletes. I say I'm coming to perform this year outside, like during the season. I'm coming out to perform, and hopefully I can sway his opinion on me.
And speaking of LSU, you hope to join the 2025 class. What have you seen from that 2025 class? Because I know you probably know Harlan Berry pretty well, but I mean, just what was your reaction as somebody who may have grown up LSU fan or wants to play at LSU maybe one day, hopefully for your sake. What was your reaction? Like, what was your reaction when you saw all those guys come in? Because I know that turned a lot of heads. Because the whole thing about Brian Kelly was that when he came in, it's like, oh, we can't recruit, or he doesn't want to recruit. But you see this class he's putting together. So, what was your reaction when you seen all these commits that are from the class of 2025?
Man, I mean, that's a great job on there. I know Coach Brian Kelly, man, he's a legend. He's been doing this for a very long time. And for people to say like he doesn't recruit, it's just like it's kind of an insult of his way about how much winning he does. And when he came down to LSU, I knew just being in Louisiana, he was gonna find a lot of talent. Just being in Louisiana, you were gonna find a lot of talent, a lot of dogs from in the boot that's gonna want to play for LSU. And I know his skills reach out far more than Louisiana. So I just seeing that class of 2025 recruitment class going in there, I just knew it was gonna be something special, and yeah, I hope to be one of those guys in there.
Yeah, man, and just kind of going to when you speak of dogs, you're from the West Bank. It's very, I think the West Bank is very famous in New Orleans area for just having interesting characters to say that. And you're at Shaw, yeah, and you're at Shaw, and their whole thing is it's a West Bank thing. Can you and like West Bank, Best Bank, all that type of stuff. Can you West? What was it? What's the motto you guys have?
The West Bank, the best bank.
Oh no, not that one. It's like what's West Bank Tough. That's what
Oh
it is.
yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I know that Coach Tierney, Hank Tierney, he preaches that a lot. So can you kind of explain to anybody who's not really familiar with that the whole motto you guys have over there at Shaw?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna do everything. We're gonna be strong in faith. We're gonna be strong in education. We're gonna be strong in athletic for sure. We're gonna be strong with supporting everybody in the community. So like when we just say West Bank tough, everybody tough. I mean, we all strong. It just comes with being a part of the West Bank. You take a lot of pride just being on this side of the river. So growing up on the West Bank, I've always took pride in like being West Bank strong and West Bank tough. And Coach Tierney, he's been doing it great, making everybody stronger. I mean, he's been here for 2 years, and you can see what he's doing to the program already, developing strong athletes, strong young men, and just strengthening the whole community as a whole. So that's what I say. Being West Bank strong is just knowing you're from the West Bank, taking pride in it, and getting stronger every day.
Yeah, and kind of going off of the turnaround you just mentioned over there, Shaw. Shaw for a very long time, even when I was kind of a little kid. They were one of the best programs in the state of Louisiana. They're always going to the Dome, always competing for state championships. But there was a good period of time that Shaw was really struggling even getting the playoffs, let alone win a playoff game. Then Coach Tierney comes in. He returns to Shaw. He hadn't coached Shaw in 20 years. It's this glorious return of one of the greatest legends in not only just the New Orleans area, but Louisiana high school football history. And then, I think you believe your eighth and ninth grade, you guys, had a losing record. You guys had back-to-back losing records. But then his first year there, you guys go to the quarterfinals. And then this past year, you guys went to the semifinals. So what was that turnaround like? And like, what were the expectations when you first came in? And then what are the expectations now that you guys are seeing as one of the top dogs of Division Two, not select or Class 4? I'm confused about the whole classifications in Louisiana, man. But yeah, go ahead.
Just like hearing the rumors that we need Coach Hank back. Coach Hank's coming back. You just kind of like knew it was going to be an instant change. Instantly better, and that's exactly what happened. He lived up to it. I mean, he's a very promising coach. I think he's the greatest high school coach of all time. It's just because he's my coach and he's done so
Yeah.
much for me. But yeah, most definitely when Coach Tierney came back, everybody knew it was gonna be different. We was gonna work harder. We was gonna bring Shelton back the way he had it. I mean, going performing, winning a lot of games every season. I mean, just coming back and going to the quarterfinals was a win for the whole alumni class, for the whole all the alumni for Shaw as a community. And this year going to the semis, one more step up is going to that state chip, and I think we can conquer something important next year. Having Coach
Yeah,
Hank
and
back.
just kind of going off the community aspect, because when I actually went to you guys' playoff game against Evangel, and that was probably one of the best experiences I've had covering high school football and covering recruiting stuff like that the past couple of years. And it seemed like the Shaw community it's always been strong, but that was my first experience just noticing it, because Shaw hadn't been very good in a long time. What does it mean not only to you and the but the program as a whole, that this turnaround has really brought the Shaw community back together, and it seems as strong as ever, if not stronger.
Uh, yeah, definitely. One of the biggest sports in the South just being football. We always talked about football, Shaw football, and when we had that drought, it was like, all right, now what we gonna do? Yeah, our basketball team's strong. Yeah, our baseball team's nice. Yeah, we got all these other extracurriculars, but where's the football, man? Where's that West Bank strong on the field? And I feel like just winning games back, it just started to gain that traction. And we know going into the playoffs, we're going to be contenders for sure. We know that team out of Evangel, they were really good. They had two great prospects at that school, the Falcons. So we just knew that we had to come together for that game and all the other games, even going into a playoff run. So I felt like after this year, after Coach Hayne coming back, just getting everybody on track and just developing back that family aspect of football, I feel like everybody came out and supported where it needed to be.
Yeah, and speaking of that game, the Evangel game, there's a lot of talent on that field alone. And you just mentioned the Fulgham brothers, but you also had Gabe Relaford on the field as well. Yeah, there's a lot of great players from Evangel that are starting to become some of the top prospects, not only in the state but then around the country. But on your team, you have yourself, you have Jacob Washington, you had Dallas Bourne, you had Jaden
Jada
and
Scott.
Zane Scott, yeah, and then you had Raymond Howard, and they're all going to do great things at the next level. And I think I'm probably forgetting a couple more, but that just shows you how much talent you guys have on your team. Uh, but you guys are losing some of those players next year. I mean, some of the guys I just mentioned on your team, they're they're graduated. They were seniors last year, and now you are a senior. So what adjustments have you started to make now you're seen as one of the senior leaders?
So like, I think next we're losing a lot of good guys, man. I hope a lot of great guys, just a lot of leaders on the team that's dogs, and they're gonna want to win. And those guys brought the energy. So I feel like this year, coming in as a leader, you gotta always say keep the energy up, keep the spirits up, and we're gonna be good. We're gonna compete every game. We're gonna compete at every practice. It's not about just those Friday nights, and that's something I learned from all the seniors we're losing. It's not about just Friday nights coming and playing football. It's about what you do in the summer. It's about what you do in the spring conditionings. It's about developing your body in the weight room, what you eat, how you carry yourself off the field, how you carry yourself around the campus, developing a family mentality around the locker room. So just coming into next season as a senior leader, I've emphasized, man, we got to stick together and we're going to be great. I mean, I know we got a lot of young guys stepping up. I mean, we got a young core that's hungry and ready to eat, and I'm ready to give them the food on their plate. So, we're gonna do great things next year, I promise.
Yeah, and speaking of changes next year, you guys are right now in the classification in the playoffs at least. Division two select. There's a lot of great teams. Obviously, LCA is dropping down to division because their enrollment lowered, but the St. Charles is moving up, and they're actually going to be your division. Uh, STM is always going to be strong. They're the two-time defending state champs. You also have Turling's Catholic, who's another very strong team. But then also JFK, just like you guys, I've been really developing to become a really strong team in the state, and they also have a lot of talent coming in as well. So, what with the competition coming in, what are your expectations going towards next year? Because obviously it has to be the state champions going to the dome, but there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of changes and a lot. It's only going to get tougher from here.
Oh yeah, so I most definitely been looking into those other teams. I mean, just watching the film, we weren't even we knew Evangel was great, but that was a lot more challenge than just being in our first playoff game of the season. We got a bye week the first week,
Right.
so just coming into it, we seen how competitive those guys was and how much they got after it and how well their coaching staff did. So as well as John F. Kennedy, that team was pretty low model for the most part, but this year they came out of nowhere. Bernard Causey, man, he's a dog. He's going to LSU. But yeah, they just came out of nowhere too. So I feel like in order for us to compete, we got to compete every day with ourselves. We can't worry about the outside factors too much because we can't control that. But what we can control earlier is the things that I stated. So just coming into it, I feel like we have to outwork those teams in the offseason, get our guys mentally prepared to be in long games. I feel like the reason we won a lot of times is because we were in long games and we were prepared for those long games. We said we knew it was going to be a first half blowout. We knew it was going to be a second half blowout, but it was going to be a dogfight. And I feel like we prepared our guys. We got to keep preparing our guys.
Yeah, and kind of moving on to Coach Tierney. Coach Tierney, like I mentioned earlier, he's been a huge part of your guys' turnaround into becoming state title contenders after you guys have had some really tough years in your program and now your school. What has your relationship been like with Coach Tierney, and how has he helped you with your development?
I mean, Coach Tierney has been one of the greatest influence I've had this year. He's been telling me he's been developing me mentally. The mental aspect of the football game, keeping my head up, developing a relationship off the field, man. Even when I got hurt, I mean, he just was taking me to PT some days. I mean, just a great coach and a great my mentor. Yeah, I would consider him a mentor of mine. Just keeping your head up and keep fighting through life. I mean, that guy explained some angles to me in football that I'd never seen before, and that I'll take with me to the next level. So I'm just grateful to have Coach Hank taking over the program when I was in it in my time to shine. So I've just been grateful to have him as a head coach.
Yeah, and speaking of your skills and everything, what are some of your best attributes as a player?
I think versatility. I think I do really well hitting the A gaps, getting to the outside, reading it. I'm also a pass pro guy. I like to get down there and help the guys that help me. I mean, the old line helps me all game. I can't just help them for a few plays to keep our quarterback in great condition. Because after all, you need that guy with a good mind frame if you want to complete passes and win a ball game. So I would say my game is very layered. I can break tackles. I can get shifty in the secondary. Yeah, I could just pass block and I could go A gap to A gap. I'm a bigger body, so it's a challenge whenever you got to tackle a taller guy, bigger guy in the secondary. So yeah, I feel like my game has layered. I can catch the ball. I can run routes outside of the backfield. So that's a lot of way to describe my game.
And as soon as you mentioned that, you had caught a ball going deep. Yeah. So what areas have you improved on? And in the past, this past year and the last 2 years, and then what areas do you still need to work on going to your senior year? Because you can always get better. I mean, there's no such thing
Yeah,
as improving on a certain skill set, even if it's your best skill set.
yeah. So yeah, of course you want to always sharpen your tools. You know what I'm saying? So like you always got to sharpen your tools. So I'm working on every aspect of my game, pass pro as well as A gap to A gap, staying low in those holes, getting my feet up. But what I need to improve most of my game is my third level burst. So like I can get through the A gaps, I can get to the linemen, then it's the linebackers. Once you get to those linebackers, then you shake off the linebacker. Now it's the safeties and the DBs coming back to try to get that last minute licking on you. But yeah, I feel like I got to get my burst up. Yeah, I have a quick twitch. I can get past the secondary. I can break tackles, but I feel like once I get that separation speed, I'm going to be very competitive amongst the backs in the country as well. I've been doing it well, and to get myself in that conversation.
Yeah, and Jasper's highlights are actually playing right now on the visual side of the podcast. This will be up on YouTube, and then the podcast will also be up on Spotify. So if you want to listen to it as well, it's on Spotify. Just want to mention that real quick. But you know, what is your biggest motivator going on and off the field? I think you mentioned a lot with the on the field stuff, but then also off the field, like, and you mentioned that a lot. That's how the recruiting process has gone. They've always want to know what you're like off the field. So can you kind of give what are your biggest motivators on and off the field?
I would probably say my mom and dad. I mean, those they work super hard for me. I mean, just being in the area I am, being able to play the game I love. I mean, they've did a lot. They've sacrificed a lot. Specifically, my dad. He's made a lot. He's did a lot of things to help me become the man I am, and he's raised me to be the man I want to be in the future. I mean, just looking at him, doing things in his business, and my mom handling things, raising me and my siblings, just doing the right things. It just always taught me to be humble and handle your responsibility. So I've just been most grateful for my mom and dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and is there a particular player, whether it's college or pro, that you like to model your game after? Because I know you're a bigger back, you're about 6'1", 200. So is there any running back in particular that you model your game after? It doesn't have to be a running back; it can be any player, really, that
Yeah.
you want to model your game after.
This year, of course, I like to hit the weight room. So like, I look at backs like Derrick Henry. Man, I'm a taller back, so the thing about Derrick Henry is he's enormous. I mean, it's no avoiding that. He's enormous. So like, when you're trying to tackle him, man, enormous. That guy like 6'3". His weight is unmatched, and the way that he uses his weight and he shifts his body and he uses what he has advantages that players don't have is something that I really look to take away from his game and put it to my game, as well as players like Alvin Kamara, Jameer Gibbs with their balance and agility and speed. I mean, speed in the secondary, just not going down, just staying up after contact is something I really look at when it comes to some things I want to take out of other people's game and put it in my game.
Yeah, and Jameer Gibbs is a great example of that. And you mentioned that you like to you pass pro, you like to catch the ball in the backfield, and he's also kind of like shifty runner like you. And then when you watch your highlight tape, the similarities are there. So I think that's a fantastic person to model your game after, because the things you just mentioned, like what you like to do and what your strengths are. Speaking of, I know football has been a lot of stress for you so far, and with recruiting, and obviously school, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Um, there's a lot of stuff going on outside, or inside and outside of your life. But what hobbies you like to do off the field? Kind of decompress.
I like to play video games. I'm a big game guy as well as watching movies and hanging out with my friends. So hanging out with my friends, down here in the boot is Mardi Gras. So like me and a lot of my friends, we like to get out and go to parades, do all that fun stuff. As well as like play 2K and Madden, like seeing playing Madden, just envisioning myself on the video game using my favorite players. I'm a big COD guy. I play all the games and stuff like that. So that's some things I like to do outside of football. Just me off the field.
Yeah, man. And what's your favorite? By the way, you speak. You said you like to watch movies. What are your favorite movies?
Um, I have to say I like action movies, man. I like all the Marvel movies. I like the Supermans, all that, the DCs, all that stuff. I get into it.
Yeah, and speaking of, it's Mardi Gras season. Which parades are what parades are your favorite?
I gotta say probably Nam Talk and Endymion because a lot of my family goes to Nam Talk. That's a West Bank parade actually, and Endymion just seeing I go out there and it's just always a fun time and see all my friends from school and stuff.
Yeah, Endymion is probably my favorite parade to go to of all of them, because I think the thing that makes Endymion unique among the other parades is that it's during the day. It's not like a night parade. Usually, a lot of parades are like 5, 6, 7 o'clock. That one's kind of like right, like 4 o'clock, 4:30, and it's all just a long parade. And you're out there partying basically all day. It's one of the more unique parades. But is there one
Mhm.
that you think is really underrated? Or and which ones you think are over? What's the most underrated parade, and what's the most overrated parade of all the parades going on in New Orleans?
I think Cleopatra's pretty underrated. I missed that one this year. It was I think it was Friday night. A lot of my friends went to that one. I think that was pretty underrated. I think a lot of people have a lot of fun at that one. The one I think's overrated is probably like Zulu. It's so early in the morning. Like I can just remember, like my mom and grandparents just waking me up to go to Zulu, and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. And it's on Mardi Gras Day. It's kind of wrapping up the parade season, so I just feel like Zulu's pretty overrated. People throwing coconuts and stuff, but yeah, I feel like Zulu's pretty overrated. But I still love them all.
Yeah. Also, Zulu, I think, yeah, I have to agree with you. It's really early in the morning, and then also they don't never start on time. There's only been one time in my life where that parade has started on time. I swear, it never starts on time. Like, I'll say this about Zulu: they do have the best throws, in my opinion. Out
They
of all
do.
the parades, I think they have the best throws. It's just that, like, the only issue is that it's the earliest parade of all of them, and then they never start on time. So it's like, bro, we'll give us
Yeah.
7 for this. I'm waiting an hour and a half, bro. Start the parade. But yeah, guys, that's Jasper Shaw of Archbishop, Jasper Parker of Archbishop Shaw High School up there in Marrero, Louisiana, on the west bank of the New Orleans area. I'm glad to have him on. He's one of the top running backs, not only in the state but the country, and is somebody that's really blowing up on everybody's recruiting boards. So it's great to hear his perspective of what's going on in his life. Is there any last words you want to say, Jasper?
Thank you so much, Grant, for having me on here. The pleasure was mine just getting to be on such a podcast. I know you guys just getting started with this recruitment stuff, so I was happy to be on it early, and I'm happy that you guys track on my recruitment, and maybe I'll be on here again sometime.
The thing is, you say you guys, it's just me. But I've been, but also get input from other people like Jared Rozier and Gridiron Football with Jace Lejeune, people like that. I'm close with all of them because I've worked with all of them and they know me pretty well. And then also, I've just been around. I just know about a lot of you guys. Like I even know people that you guys never heard of before, people never heard of before. And then all of a sudden they blow up. I'm like, oh, let me bring them on the show because and the reason why I do this podcast is to bring people on like yourself, who are some of the top prospects, not only around the state, but around the country, but then also upon some people that may not get the exposure that they need, and they have the potential to play at the next level. So I'm always grateful to have people on like yourself, but then also to show my love of not only football, but also the recruiting aspect of it as well, because that's always one of the more intriguing parts of football, of high school and college football. So I'm great to have them on, guys. Just remember, uh, follow 45/7 Productions on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or it's called X now. And then also make sure to like this video and subscribe to 45/7 Productions YouTube channel. All you do is click the button, and then bam. So you get all the updates, and make sure you click on the bell to get all the updates of any upset I have coming one way. And then also also gives me a chance. It supports me, and also get to bring on people like Jasper. So yeah, thanks again, Jasper, for coming on. And this is the Recruiting Board podcast with your host, Grant Sachere. I'll see you guys next time.